Well, thank you for coming. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind for me. Haven't been on a recruiting circuit for quite some time, but it's really a tedious process when you think about how this thing really goes about, especially the recruiting part of it when the kids come to campus with their families, and there's a lot of people that in this administration have done a wonderful job. It's not just the coaches, it's some of the professors and all those folks that are a part of when they come on campus. Obviously, they're student athletes first, so they don't just come here to play football, but also become good students and obviously good citizens. So it's an effort by a lot of people that work here that have done a fabulous job. I'm late on this. I've been hanging around with this guy for about the last we've been there 3 weeks now. I haven't gone home since my send-off in Bristol. I don't know what my family looks like anymore, but that's okay. They're probably glad I'm not there. But doing this has been quite refreshing to me. What I anticipated, obviously. When you go into a home and you sit down for dinner with those families, you know that there's a big decision about to be made. We go in there as coaches, recruiting coordinators, representing not only ourselves, but also this great university, and we don't take it lightly. And I think the thing we have to offer here is one of they're going to be a complete student athlete when they leave here, and that's very important because we are representing this university. There's been a lot of great athletes to come through here, and we have to make sure we do it right. I actually passed the compliance test, which was very important, and that's important. You know, I believe in – I'm not a rule guy at all. I believe in expectations, and whether we like them or not, we have to live by those. There's a code of conduct we all have to live by. I'm a believer in that. My father was a military man. I get that part of it. And I just think the way we represent this university every time we walk on a high school campus, in a home, is important because we represent this community, to be quite honest. And to me, that's important. I understand that. I've always understood that. And I don't take it lightly. So I think this has been a great 3 weeks for me. I've enjoyed every bit of it. I've got energy for it. That's why I'm back here. I think we've done a nice job of really identifying some young men that can help this program as football players, but also as good citizens, as good teammates, as scholar athletes as well. So that's the key of it all for me. And without this guy, I tell you what, I couldn't have done it because we've been hooked to the hip. He has more information on all these guys. He'll start getting into that. Rob, obviously, is our new offensive coordinator. That was easy. It was an easy transition. It was the right transition. I knew that when I came here, Billy would have an opportunity to leave. We talked about that when I first met him, and left a little early, but that's okay. I anticipated that would happen. This would be the guy. I talked to him right away, said, hey, here's the deal. He accepted. We'll have a defensive coordinator here by the end of the week. Can't mention who he is. We're fine. We'll be okay. No one needs to panic. So with that, you can tell them about all these good players we got.
Yeah, welcome. Appreciate you guys. Big day for Arizona State football and our recruiting department and everybody involved. I'd like to recognize a few people. I think it's very important. There's so many people that are involved in this process, and we're recruiting throughout the year. First and foremost, our senior associate AD, Tim Cassidy, who has a lot of experience in this and has really kind of mentored me as I've moved through this process the last couple of years. Our coaching staff, you know, what is left of our coaching staff and the guys that have left and went on to other places were a big part in this recruiting process and developing relationships with these kids. I think that's the most important thing is the relationships we've had with these kids. And people say, well, how do you keep this class together? And it's really about the relationships and in this university. Our analysts, our grad assistants, Marcus Elaine and Marcus Walker, and also the Sun Devil Athletic Admin team have been very supportive in what we've been doing recruiting. Our recruiting staff has been phenomenal. You know, I want to recognize Brent Graham. He's our on-campus recruiting coordinator. He's kind of been my right-hand man for the last year and has developed a great relationships with all these players. Fred Gamage, former player here, also from the city of Phoenix, played at Brophy Prep. Caesar Ochoa, Matt Seiler, Tanner Craker, and a number of our student assistants. The academic staff here, the support staff, led by Gene Boyd, Courtney Skipper, and Jacob Blum, and the rest of their staff, have been important when we're bringing these young men on our campus with their families to be able to show them what we offer here at Arizona State in terms of an academic career. They were great in setting up the professors. We had an academic team of professors. We just started with Kevin McGraw. He's one of our professors here and has done an outstanding job of assembling a large group of professors that are able to meet with our students and our student athletes, prospects, and also their parents on Saturday mornings for breakfast on their visits. So I want to thank them. Our championship life component, again, led by Gene Boyd and Alonzo Jones, has been great. Not only what we're going to do for them here at Arizona State while they're here, but once they graduate and leave, preparing them for the future to be better men, fathers, husbands, and fathers. I think that's important. Our strength staff, our nutrition staff, our athletic training staff, they're all part of what we're doing. Jerry Garcia in athletic training, Jerry Neely and Eric Bowman, what they do in our equipment staff with our Adidas, our three-stripe life, showing the recruits what it's going to be like to play here and how they're going to be geared up. They've been outstanding. And then, last but not least, our admin assistants, Laura Borp and Jill Adams, they're the ones that do a lot of the legwork and all of our travel and all of our visits and making sure these guys are taken care of. But so I want to thank those people. And going on to our players and our signed players, I thought it was a great day. We, had 12 guys committed. We got 11 of the 12 signed. I think that's very important for what we're doing here. The loyalty these kids had throughout the process has been great. We signed 5 guys from the state of California. I think that was important. We signed 4 guys from the state of Texas, 1 from Arizona, and 1 from Louisiana. So very excited about that. One of the main guys, I think what we improved is we improved the back end of our defense, which I think is important. As you guys are aware of, I think it steadily has gotten better this past year, and then this coming year, we think we signed 2 big-time back-end players, and Dom Harrison from Blinn College. He's a Texas native, 6 foot, 185 pounds, is a press corner that can get after it. He's a good tackler. He's going to be a guy who can play in space. Expect him to come in and compete right away. He'll be here this spring. He's ranked the 3rd-ranked JUCO cornerback in the country. So we're really glad he's aboard. He's been committed to us for a long time and developed a relationship with him and his family. Great player. Taryn Adams from City College of San Francisco just committed to us, signed with us, ranked the 13th-ranked JUCO corner in the country. Big-time physical kid, very athletic, great ball skills. He's a ball hawk, 7 interceptions this year, makes plays on the ball, has great eyes, great awareness, spatial awareness, and will help us in the back end. His dad actually played in the NFL, Sam Adams, so he's a big-time son of a former player, so he's got great genes, so he's fired up to be here. He's originally from the state of Washington, so both of those guys are going to help our back end. As you move to the high schools, I thought we did real well in California. And I think Coach Simon has done an outstanding job recruiting running backs. And I think, we're losing 2 great ones, but I think we're signing three great ones as well. Demetrius Flowers from Powerhouse in California, St. John Bosco, 5'11", 220-pound back, very physical. Had an injury this year, so he cut out most of his season, but he's ranked the 5th ranked back in California, over 1,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. Another great back out of the state of Texas, Brock Sturgis from Allen High School. He's a candidate for the Player of the Year in Texas. He'll be playing for a state championship this coming Saturday. Coach and I went into his home this past week, and what a great family. So, the kids that we're signing here are not only great football players, but they're great people, and I think that's important for our university to know that. Brock has 3,000 yards and 43 touchdowns over the past 2 years, so big-time back. A.J. Carter from Coach Simon's neck of the woods in Louisiana. He's almost at 4,000 yards, 3,900 yards, and 63 touchdowns in his career. He's a big back, 6 foot, 223 pounds. Chose ASU. His coach texted me this week and said, Coach, he chose you guys over the school here locally, and you know who that is. And that head coach was trying to get that young man. And Coach Simon's relationship with him was great. He came and visited last weekend with his mom. And he's the top back in Louisiana. So I feel that we really improved if you think about our offense this last year and who we lost, the majority we only lost 3 guys. 2 of those guys were running backs. So I think that we really reloaded the stable with that area. Another guy, an offensive tackle, Ralph Frias from Safford High School here in Arizona. Hometown hero. He's a big man, 6'6", 340 pounds. I think he has a ton of potential. Coach Slocum recruited him last year, went and watched him, watched his feet, watched him bend. We think he has a lot of potential in developing to a great offensive tackle. With work of Coach Christensen's going to do with him in the offensive line. Really fired up about him. He's the third-ranked offensive lineman in Arizona. Really good feet for his size. We're excited about him. Defensively, Michael Matus out of Katy High School. His team just finished the semifinals this past week. Sixth-ranked defensive end in Texas. He's a finalist for Mr. Football Award in Texas as well. I think what separates him from a lot of guys in that position is his intelligence. 4.1 GPA. He's already been admitted into Barrett Honors College, which is a huge deal for us. Not only getting a great player, we're getting a great student. This young man, is very athletic, and he can play a lot of different positions. He's 6'2", 230 pounds. We think he's going to probably put on 20 to 30 pounds and be a big-time pass rusher for us. And also he's going to be a guy that can stop the run in the Pac-12. Stanley Lambert out of San Antonio Marshall High School, 6'4", 215 pounds, and he's all of 6'4". He's number 11th ranked athlete in Texas. Stanley's got a high ceiling. This young man, is very long, played every position on the field except quarterback. I mean, he can play quarterback and offensive line. He's played running back, wide receiver, cornerback, safety. He's a kickoff returner. Had a number of kickoff returns for touchdowns. He's just an outstanding athlete. Rushes the passer. We think we kind of envision him being our devil backer in the future. He's got a lot of potential. I think with the coaching he's going to receive, the athleticism he has, and then getting him trained in the weight room, this kid's going to have a high ceiling. When it's all said and done, this guy could be one of the better ones on our class. Christian Laval, Mission Viejo, California, 6 foot, 220 pounds. Pound per pound, probably the best linebacker in California. He's a number 6 ranked linebacker in California. First team All-Orange County. The kid has over 350 tackles in a 3-year career as a starter at Mission Viejo, which is a dominant program. So this young man is a very intelligent linebacker, knows the game, understands football, is a football junkie, knows everything about every player in California. I think he's critical to what we do in recruiting in California. So we're excited to have Christian Laval. Reggie Hughes, one of the most dynamic guys on our board from Calabasas High School in California, 6'1", 210 pounds, number 3 ranked linebacker in California. Had 19 sacks as a junior. Had an injury this year midway through. Didn't get to finish his season out. He'll participate in the offensive defensive All-American Bowl. He's a very twitchy guy. We envision him being a pass rusher, but he's a multiple position player. We could see him playing a strong safety, outside linebacker, possibly even an inside linebacker, but he's definitely a pass rusher. We expect big things from Reggie. And then Eli Doyle is a safety from Bishop Alemany High School in California, 6 foot 190. We kind of envision him being a strong safety type. Last year we called our Spur, 11th ranked safety in California. Chose us over a number of Pac-12 schools. Was really one of the first guys to commit here and has been instrumental in being loyal to our program, and the relationship we built with him and all the parents of these players has been great. And it's been a blessing for me to be able to recruit these guys, and we're not done. We still have 10 more initial scholarships we're going to be able to offer. We'll sign a total of 21, it looks like. So at this point, with the coaching staff that Coach Edwards is putting together, we're going to go back in the next 6 weeks, within the 6 weeks, reevaluate who's available. We got a number of guys still on our board that we're currently recruiting, developing relationships with, and as we get this coaching staff solidified, I'm confident we're going to be able to attract some great players to this program and improve this class from what it already is. So I think it's a great day. We signed 11 of those 12 players. And again, I want to thank you guys for all being here and your support and what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a Pac-12 championship team, and I think we're on a good start here in this December signing class.
Thanks, Donnie. Coach, you have a couple of comments before we take questions?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Coach Edwards?
Yes, sir.
What have your conversations been like with the group that's already in the locker room, the members of the team?
The players? Yeah, well, I addressed them early, about 2 weeks ago probably, and told them to rest assured that when I first addressed them, I said there's not going to be that many changes. Well, lo and behold, we get a couple guys that become head coaches, right? And I said, okay, now what do you do, right? But I think with that being said, going forward, a couple of them, as you know, came to the press conference. A couple of them called me when the changes were made due to the fact that we had a guy to elevate. And when a guy elevates, I'm going to let him go. When you have young coaches, whether it's at this profession or obviously in professional football, you want guys to elevate. You're going to lose coaches. That's just the deal. That's just part of it. That's part of coaching. You want young coaches. I left Tony Dungy, right? Lovie Smith left Tony Dungy. Rod Marinelli left Tony Dungy. Mike Tomlin left Tony Dungy. It just happens. And you don't panic as a coach. You just say, okay, there's a lot of other coaches out there that we can hire. It was an easy hire for me with Rob. I knew exactly where I was going. It wasn't like, well, what are we going to do? I called him. It's simple. I said, I got a guy. I'm good. I mean, some people get nervous. I don't get nervous about that stuff, guys. It's not nerve-wracking to me. It's part of the profession. I've been in this profession for 30 years. You just get it. You want guys to elevate. You want your coaches to elevate and have opportunities. That's part of the deal. The sad part for these high school young men, a lot of times they go to the university because of the coach. I get that part. And it's kind of sad that coaches elevate and leave. That's why you better like the university. That's kind of important too, and I tell them that all the time. I think a lot of these young guys, I told them this is what's going to happen. I told their parents that. I stayed true to who I am. A lot of these parents don't know me. They see me on television. And when I walk into their home, they say, you know what, Coach? You're the same guy. Yeah, I can't change. I got to be me. And so with that, I don't panic. I don't panic. For what? I played in Philadelphia, by the way. I coached in New York. You think I'm going to panic? I don't panic. There's always a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to know coaches are going to leave. Players get hurt. What do? They kick the ball in the NFL at 1 o'clock. We kick it off at what time here? 7:30 at night, they don't kick it off. I need 11 guys to go cover the kick. That's what you do. Because when you panic, then everybody else panics. I'm not going to panic. You make good decisions. You make wise decisions. We've gone through this methodically as far as hiring coaches. We will have a really good staff. We will have a good football staff. Some of the guys have already committed. I can't mention who they are at this point in time. You'll know who they are here shortly. We're going to be fine.
So now you look at this class, half of it is on the defensive side. There's no defensive coordinator named yet. Position of coaches in flux.
I'm the defensive coordinator, by the way.
But I mean, I have to imagine that challenge is monumental. You talk about putting blind faith in someone, and it looks like a lot of players did answer that call. I mean, can you walk through the process? I mean, how challenging, or maybe it wasn't really that challenging for those players that committed, 2, 3, sometimes 5 months ago, to commit now without knowing who the coach is going to be?
I think it's about the relationship with our university and the people in it. At this level, you're going to have great coaching. And I know that they're going to hire great coaches, and I think the players had faith in Coach Edwards that he's going to hire a great staff. How many different defenses can you run? So there's only 3 or 4 defenses you really can run. So the guys that we recruited, that we're going to find a place for them, and they knew that. So I think they had faith in what we're doing. But I think one thing about when I recruit these guys and our coaches, I tell these guys, I said, it's not about the coach, it's about the university. In 10 years and 20 years, when you walk out of Tillman Tunnel, there won't be a coach in there. When all those players are aligned, they're former players that played for Arizona State. And I think that that's the most important thing for any of our recruits to understand, is that they're coming to Arizona State. And one of our current players, Benjamin, I asked him a year ago, I said, why Arizona State? Why not Texas? When their coach had got there, and he said to me, Coach, I envision if football wasn't here, would I still want to go to school here? I think that's important. That's one of those stories I share with all those recruits.
Donnie, do you see adding a quarterback in this next February class?
I think that if there was a quarterback that fits us and that's available, that's a possibility. It's not a prerequisite or requirement, but I think if there was one that fit us and that was available.
Donnie or Herm, what would you say are the most pressing needs moving forward in the next 6 weeks?
Oh, I would say, it's still about recruiting. The coaching staff will be hired. We've got guys that will probably have this thing done by Friday. It's then coming together as a staff. We kind of know what our philosophy will be on offense. I told Coach, I said, now we got all these backs. When we're on the 2-yard line, we're not throwing the pass, are we? Yeah, so. Okay, Coach. Yeah,
just don't tell him to kill that.
Okay. I know. Right. I take care of it. I had him early. I had him in the unarmed game. He's going to get a lot of balls. He's going to be fine. So, it's really for the staff coming together, and that's what I'm waiting for everyone to get here so we can finally have a staff meeting and then set journey on to continue to recruit. That's our lifeblood. It's recruiting. You got to recruit players. And I think the longer I sit with Donnie and his guys, we're starting to formulate our DNA. The kind of guys that I would like to be a part of this program. Scouting's about defining who you are, and we got to define who we are. I think we have a pretty good idea of who we are on offense. I think defensively, it might change a little bit. But the players here will fit. Look, coaching's about this. Coaching's about massaging your system to the players. 90% of the players that play football at any level, they are system needy. System needy. I've never been a coach to say it's my system. No, the system's the players. And when you have the players, it's up to you as a coach to massage your system so they can be successful. We've gone after some guys. You can see it right now. They've been defensive guys, okay? There's a reason for that. And we're going to continue to go after some more defensive guys. And we'll get some offensive guys. But right now, we went after some guys. We went after some guys in the back end that can help us, that can come in right now and play. We'll continue to do that. And so that's the philosophy right now of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think one of your questions were, I think the emphasis on who we're recruiting, what we're going to do position-wise, I think, we're still recruiting offensive linemen. I think that's a priority for us. Also think, if you're still recruiting your back end, trying to improve that as well. And if you can find a great interior defensive lineman, that would be a plus, and obviously a linebacker. So we're looking at the whole deal. We're gonna find the best 10 players we can find that fit us and fit our systems. And like Coach says, he's going to adjust a system to his players, and I think that's important for these guys that are already committed.
What did you enjoy most about recruiting these last few weeks, getting back in it?
Just walking into the homes and watching the parents, the excitement in their eyes about their son making a big decision. One of the biggest decisions he's going to make as a student athlete of what university he's going to attend. We were humbled, and I was humbled by the fact that I was invited to their home. And I know what this is all about. I got recruited. In the days that I got recruited, you could take as many visits as you want. There was no limit. You could go anywhere you want, and I went on a bunch of them, trust me. And eventually you look at this guy, you look at that child in the eye, like that young man in the eye, and you can see there's this joy, that he's going to get to go to college and live out his dream of being a college athlete. Some of them want to go further than that, obviously. But how the parents are so thankful that whether it was us or anybody else would come in their home to recruit their son. I mean, it's a big day for a lot of people. Look, it changed my life. I mean, if I wasn't a good athlete, I was probably going to junior college. It makes a difference. For a lot of these kids, you walk in their home and you realize this will be maybe the first person in their family to go to college and to receive a degree. I was that guy. I get it. That story doesn't change a whole lot, and it changes people's lives. It really does. When they look at their son and go, my son is going to go to college. My mom was a German war bride. She didn't finish the 8th grade. My father joined the Army at 17 years old. I am the first college graduate. I get that. That doesn't change, whether you're in football or out of football. That's life. That's big, man. You walk in that family's home, and their eyes are bright, and they see you, and they say, Coach, and now, a lot of different things on the menu at these homes. And whatever they served, I was eating. But other than that, it's a joy. It really is, because I know what's going to that family. I know what they're thinking. That's the fun of it. They're all good. Every one of them was good. I haven't had a bad meal yet going on a recruiting trip.
What's your biggest sales pitch that you think influences parents, athletes the most?
That I got their son. I got him. I got him. And when he sits in that dorm room that first night at 12 o'clock, and mom and dad are not there, I got him. I told every parent, you have my phone number, and you call me. Because a week's going to go by and he ain't going to call you anymore. He's going to go on this campus, he's going to say, woo, look at this place. I said, you call me. You call me, and when you call me, I'm going to get him. I'm going to grab his neck. Say, come on in my office. Call mama. Every single one of these parents with these kids signed, they have my phone number. I said, you call me anytime you want. And when you want to call me and you don't want your son to know, he won't know. That's important to me. Very important.
Can you talk a little bit about why you wanted Rob to be your offensive coordinator when Billy left, and then also adding Dave Christensen to your staff?
Smooth transition for the players. It was seamless. You know, I'm all about the players. Our offense was really pretty good last year, and I understood that. And it was an easy transition. I've watched him from afar. Look, I met him when I went up to Cal and spoke to him, to the team. He was one of the coaches there with Jared Goff and those guys. I watched that. I watched that offense. I went to Cal before I went to San Diego State, by the way. Okay, so it was an easy transition for me. It was smooth for the players, you know, because you got something going good and you're going, all right. Look, I wanted to keep Phil, but I understood Phil had some health issues. You know, he's been away. Look, his wife was living in Texas for a whole year. You know, and he said, Coach, I can't. Fine, but this was easy. And so I think when you keep things in order, the players kind of go, we don't have to learn anything different, right? Defensively, hey, we're going to be who we are. I get that. We'll adjust. The coaches will have to adjust to the players. That's easy on defense. You know, we keep saying, well, who the coordinator is going to be, as Donnie said. I told all those kids, I said, you know, the guy you're talking to, he knows I don't know a lot about football, a little bit. I think we'll be okay on defense. And so all the kids looked at me and said, Coach, we know what you're saying. I said, yeah, don't worry, I got it. So I just think offensively we were good. Special teams-wise, we're good. So maybe the faces change on offense at certain positions. The system's in good hands with this man. That was easy for me. Know about him from afar. A lot of good things. He's been a head coach, obviously. Helped here last year. Did a lot of evaluation for these guys. And so that's another easy transition, especially with the offensive linemen. You know, he knows these guys. So they're comfortable. Say, this is the guy that's been here all year. He's been a part of this. So it's a smooth transition. When you talk about a coordinator that's been involved in the play calling, you got an offensive guy that's coached the offensive line, that has evaluated the offense. That's what he did last year. And he's been a coach. He's a ball coach. So it was smooth. It was easy. Good. Thank you. It was easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't get any questions, man. Goodness gracious.
No, I will say one thing about Dave, because we wanted to be very particular who we put in front of those kids. Like Coach was saying, it's all about the kids. Is about 10 years ago, I went and visited Missouri when I was a coach at another place because they had it rolling on offense. So I had a chance to watch him coach. So I've seen him coach, and I've sat down with him before, and I've talked football with him. So I already knew that he was a really good coach. And then this year, I had the opportunity to watch him go about his daily life, okay? So there's no questions about what type of person, his character, and all that stuff. You know, when we would be up here at 11 o'clock at night, and he's not really getting paid to do anything, and he's sitting up there with us talking ball just because he loves football and he wants to be around it. So it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and you know, and you're talking about when he was with Missouri. I was with the Chiefs, so you know, and you're right. They had a fantastic offense. They were really good. So
Yep.
yeah, it's smooth transition right now. Everything is going good. We're good.
What do you think just of this facility that you're coming in? You've had a chance to look around the building more now since we
No, it's fabulous. There's no doubt about that. You can get everything you need done. You know, I'm a big believer in, you know, and I understand that's for recruiting. You know, the facilities, the kids love the swag, they love all the stuff. I get all that. These buildings have never won a game. Buildings don't win games. Good players and good coaches win games. And I say that, I learned that from Tony when we were in Tampa. That old building we had, we said, first thing we said, it wasn't very nice. It was old. I mean, it's been there for ages. The meeting room was a locker room. Imagine that, pro football. The meeting room was a locker room. We had to pull down the shade like this so you could put the film up there. And the first thing we said when we walked away, I was assistant head coach, we got to win in this building. We got to win here. We got to show the players the buildings don't win. They help you, but they don't win. It's about the players and the coaches. That's who wins football games. But this is a great facility. I mean, if you walk in here as a student athlete, you can go to anyone in the country. This matches them all. And I've been to a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. And this is first class all the way. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, those are my babies, my boys. I put a lot of heart and soul into coaching those guys. So, going to be a little bit slower with that hire because we got to find the right guy. Because those guys are talented. There needs to be some a couple guys need to mature in that group a little bit, you know. So it's going to be very important who we choose to put in front of those guys. But one of the things I want to do a little bit more than maybe we've done in the past is we'll meet together a little more than what we have been. So we're all going to be able to speak the same language from quarterback to receiver, and we'll be on the field together, quarterback, receiver. So we'll be all right. I'll still have my hand in it.
They're receivers. They're like 7-Eleven. They're always open. In their mind, they're always open. They're a headache. They're always open.
There's one right there. He's still that way.
Yeah, he's still that way. Coach, I'm open. Got double cut. Coach, Tony Gonzalez. Coach, I'm open. Tony, I know. We'll get it to you. Always open. Ooh, I don't know. We've talked to 3 guys that I think might have the ability to do that. I counseled them, told them the truth, and I think that I'll never stop a player. I'll just tell him where he's at right now, and you know, when they get evaluated, this is what it looks like. That's part of the process. So you know it. You know, you lose guys early. I mean, we're more lucky than those basketball guys. I know that. Those guys, and I know a bunch of them that are the one and done guys. They tell me all the time, Coach, we don't worry about it. We know they're not going to be here. Let them play good while they're here. Got to get another guy. You know, so that's part of it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We got the compliance. We got the compliance people.
Yeah, we do.
You got to be careful when the compliance people are here. Breaking
How we doing,
rules.
man? See you, bro.
Who was that? Wasn't you? Who was it? Is he here?
What's up, bud? Good and you? Good? Hanging in there, man. Get
Where is
rolling.
it? Come on, brother. You know I was messing with you. know that. Okay. Kush recruited me before half these people even knew about the Sun Devils.
Cameras set back there. Everybody good?
Well-
Coach Edwards will give you a few comments. Then we'll turn it over to Donnie Yantis, our recruiting coordinator, to give you a rundown of the class. And then we'll do Q&A at the end. And